What up, YouTube? It's your boy Joe Barber. It is Monday. I think today's the 30th. I want to say. I lose track of days, man. They just go by so fast. I'm with my dog today. This is my dog Odin. He looks intimidating. He is intimidating, but he's just a big bear. But anyways, I'm just jumping online just to share with y'all. Just had an experience today. I was taking my son to school, and I was upset with him because he wasn't doing his morning routine with a sense of urgency. And because of that, it kind of got to me, because I'm over here like taking the car out of the driveway, I'm getting the dogs ready, you know, and I have to come back home. It takes me a long time to drop him off and come back home because of the traffic and the morning rush and all that kind of stuff, school zones, whatever. But I was explaining to my son that it's his responsibility to make choices, to set goals, and to achieve them. And that if he doesn't, and his day starts off crappy, or his day, doesn't go the way he wants it to go, is because he set the tone by not appreciating that he got to wake up this morning. Unfortunately, a person that I know passed away last night. Someone that's involved in the basketball circuit, that, you know, he's been around high schools and men's leagues that we've played in and whatnot. And he passed away last night. So it put things into perspective with me. Like, you know, I was watching this video, which is crazy, because the video is talking about, if I were to give you $1 million, would you be excited? And it's like, yeah, man, everybody's like, yeah, I would be excited. Then he asked the question, like, I would, if there was only one stipulation, I'll give you $1 million only if you don't wake up. What's more valuable? Would you still want the $1 million? And it's like, well, of course not. You know, how am I going to use $1 million if I'm no longer here? And it's like, well, that's the point he was trying to make. By you waking up, it's worth more than $1 million. It's how you take care of your day and how you move forward through your day that determines what your day is worth. So I was explaining that to my son, and as soon as we're driving through school zones. You know, I'm going to 20 miles per hour, that's required, and some gentleman, you know, decides to take a median. Like, the road ends and then it turns into a median, and because he didn't want to wait behind us or in the lane that we were in, and then he cut me off, right? So of course I honk and I'm upset. But then I remember, like, I'm not going to be upset and try to engage with this person, because I already know what's going to end up happening. And I told my son that. I was like, this is a perfect example of why you have to have control of your emotions, and why you have to make good decisions, you know, in life. And you can engage and, you know, let that mess up your day, because you never know what people are going through on the other end, right? And I don't know if that dude's pissed off. I don't know if that dude's on the run from the law. I don't know if that dude's affiliated. I don't know, you know, if that dude's wife cheated on him this morning. I don't know if his son's sick and he's just upset at the work. I don't know what he's capable of doing. So I don't engage in that. And a lot of times I'm not afraid of what they can do to us or me. I'm afraid of what I'm going to do to them, because I know what I'm capable of doing. I don't know what they're capable of doing. So I have to hold myself to a higher standard and be like, no, Joe, like, you have to do what's best. Because at the end of the day, you know, we engage, and I look at him, he looks at me, he's like trying to do something, or, you know, pulls out a gun, or I don't know. So it's not worth it to me. But maybe that's what he was trying to do. He's trying to pick a fight with somebody to take his aggression on. Or maybe he's so insecure that he needs to do those kind of things to try to validate himself and make himself feel better. You know, because he ended up right in front of me for I don't know how many blocks. And I'm just talking to my son about it. And it's like, I'm explaining to him, like, look, man, all that he did, breaking the law and speeding through a school zone, all that to end up right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? So, and then my son's like, yeah, Dad, he just keeps looking at me. Yeah, the old Joe, I would have, yeah, no, definitely. And I could play out the scenario for you. You know, I could have, you know, told him what's up. I could have pulled up on him and be like, what's up? And then, yeah, if he says something, I say something, he pull a gun out, then what? And then I shoot him and murder him or kill him? Because now, by law, by him, you know, pulling out a weapon, I have every right to protect myself. Then I do that. Then what? Then my son's gonna be all traumatized for the rest of his life. Then I don't, I know I'm gonna be in the right, but I have to carry that burden. It can spiral out of control so quickly, and that's what we don't understand. But I was using that example, and I told my son, look, thankfully, I know God's protecting us, so I'm cool. But the fact is that this all goes back to, I was like, if something would have happened to me because of that guy, let's say that guy put a weapon out and something happened to me, that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, because that day that this happened, none of this would have happened if you would have just got out of bed on time and if you had a sense of urgency. And that's what it takes sometimes. Sometimes something tragic has to happen in order for us to like count our blessings. And it's sad, but that's the truth. You never appreciate the sun until the sun's not around. You never appreciate it until the rain comes and you're like, man. And then you're like, oh, once the sun comes out, you're automatically, oh man, I feel so better. But imagine it being dark. I think like in Alaska, it's like dark for I don't know how many days. And there's light for I don't know how many days. But the fact is, man, that this message is to tell y'all, like, we don't have, like, and I told my son this, it's like, we don't have the power to, like, where you're controlling somebody's destiny, right? Whatever is going to happen is going to happen. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. But I was explaining to him about good karma, bad karma, and whatever you put out into the world is what you're going to get back. Do what's right because it's the right thing to do. Basically, that's what I was telling them. But you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. And just as simple as it is to wake up early and get ready for school, that don't take much, man. And I told my son, I'm like, you're not paying me to be your alarm clock. I got to wake him up. He's 16 years old. I'm like, bro, you're already on your way to be a man. Like, you need to be able to do that and hold yourself accountable. It's not your mom's fault. It's not my fault. It's nobody's fault. It's your responsibility to get up on time. Now, he didn't eat breakfast today, so he's going to feel like crap at school, and then he's going to blame, like, other people or whatever. I'm not saying that he's going to do that, but I'm just in his mind, he's going to be like, man, I didn't eat breakfast. And then, oh, I don't like the lunch at school, so I haven't eaten all day. And it's like, well, whose fault was it that you didn't get up on time? Whose fault was it that you didn't make that a priority and now you feel like crap? It's your fault. It's your fault. So those are the things that, those are the things that we got to learn, man. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And I'm sorry about my hair and all that. I'm driving my son's little car because I got to take it to the mechanic. But yeah, man, I just wanted y'all to hear that situation, circumstance. Look at this dude. My dog is crazy. Move. This dude wants to drive. But anyways, yeah, so I got to take this car to my mechanic so he can check something with one of the gaskets or something, because it was leaking like a little bit of oil. But yeah, man, hopefully y'all can learn from this experience, because a lot of times we tend to forget these little things and how much of a difference they make. And we like to, we like to make excuses. I know I did for a long time. I made a lot of excuses. Come on, boy. I made a lot of excuses in my life about why I wasn't successful, why I grew up poor, why my mom didn't love me, why my dad wasn't there, why, all these things, of course. And I'm not saying that those things don't play a role, but you can't be making excuses and be the victim all the time. You cannot be the victim all the time, because you have power. You have control. You have control for sure in a lot of the things that happen in our lives. But what's unfortunate is we don't get taught that at school. Like, a lot of these things have to do with our mental, the way we perceive life, the way we value things. People, and I think that in my head when I was driving, I was like, man, when I'm driving this little car, it's like nobody respects you, man. Like, people want to punk you out. And then when I'm in my excursion and it's, lifted and like people don't do that, I don't know, it's just weird. And then when I drive my sports car or something like that, stuff like that doesn't happen because people feel like, oh, he's somebody. He has a nice car. And the little Honda is just an older car. It's good, got good motor. Got a lot of stuff done to it. But I really feel like people value us by our clothes, by our cars, by the stuff, the materialism, even me. Like I know sometimes I think like that when I see like a Mercedes. I don't like Mercedes for one, but when I see that, I know to some people that's a standard of, this is my life and this is how I live, kind of. I know you can lease a Mercedes. I can go lease a Mercedes right now. I can lease a Escalade. I can lease all that stuff, put it under my business account, write it off in my taxes. Like I can do all that stuff. But am I doing that for me, or am I doing that to flex on people? Do I have a strategy? Do I need to do a write off, or am I already, like I think like that? But I know I'm capable of doing that. But the way my mind works, how I analyze situations, how I analyze people, I'm like, man, and I try not to think in a negative way, like, oh, that person's insecure, oh, that person's this, that, because we all are broken in one way or another. And some of us do things to cope with it. And, sometimes I would get mad at my sister when she would wear a lot of makeup. I'm like, dog, why you wear so much makeup? You know what I'm saying? But then she explained to me, she's like, oh, well, when I was, younger, this and that, and I had like acne, and then it left scars. So it makes me insecure about my skin. So it makes me feel better when I don't see those little blemishes and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, yeah, and that's, so I feel like sometimes, yeah, I think of women, and my perception is like, I don't, even with, when I look at, anybody that I care about, that I love or whatever, that's a female, I'd rather them not wear makeup, because I feel like, what are you covering up? You're covering up what God, gave you. But of course, it's like men, like sometimes we're insecure about us not being in shape, or us not being tall enough, or us not being fast enough, or us not having a perfect jawline, or us not having a beard or whatever. Because society right now, like, it's big. Like if you have a beard, women are like, oh, if you have beard and tattoos, oh my goodness, that's great. And then, yeah, you could have all this drama and trauma and bad habits and all these other like red flags, but tattoos and beards. So it's like us men too. We look at women and we're like, oh, if they got big boobs, big butt, or whatever society says, big hips, or pierced nose, whatever it can be. We're more infatuated with that, and yes, that can draw you in. But at the same time, it's like, man, it's like a car that has a beat up transmission and a bad motor, but man, they gave it a good paint job. So a lot of those things, that's how I connect stuff in my brain. And so I know that sometimes we need those little things to get through the day. Not everybody's mentally strong. Not everybody's mentally at the level that I'm at. And I want to get to a way higher level where I'm functioning a lot better. So these are all the things that, like who's going to take the time to share all these things with you? Like, who's going to give you the insight? And that's, from where I started, with this barber stuff and doing all this artwork and man, I promise you, I'm going to put more content like that up very soon. Very, very soon. I'm going to commit myself to just doing those kind of things. And I'm going to put up a lot of videos, and I'm going to, get more interactive with my TikTok and Instagram, and really put a lot of new content. I'm hiring someone to like actually run everything and put out great quality, because that's the only way I'm going to grow my brand, and get more recognition of who I am, and like kind of reintroduce myself as a person that I'm trying to help individuals grow spiritually. I'm trying to help individuals change their mindset and not accept just what society says. Like, because we get on this hamster wheel, bro, and we're just chasing and chasing. And right now it's bad. I know a lot of people that may have a lot of followings, and they do something simple, man, and they'll get 70,000 likes. And it's just something that I'm like, bro, I could easily do that. Like, that doesn't require a lot of talent. But these people that are engaging with these, whatever content creators, whatever you want to call them, I'm just like, man, it blows my mind. But then I have to look at it like as a businessman. And I'm like, well, you can't be mad at that if they're producing money. Because I can do 2 haircuts in one day, and I'll probably make, let's just say $150, right, for 2 haircuts. Then if I can record it, edit it, add music, do this, do that, blah, 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 turn it into a reel, I know I can make some money off of it. and it's just, following the trends, because that's the way it works. You got to use whatever's trending, whatever song's trending, you whatever is trending in social media right now, whether it's like Tom Brady retiring, or the football games, the people that lost, the people that won, those kind of things, whatever is trending, you target those things, and then you do some artwork, or I cut my dog's hair and put Aaron Rodgers' face on it, or Tom Brady's face on it, or my car has dust on the back window. I can go right now and do a portrait of Tom Brady with all his, what he has, like 6 or 7 rings or something like that. And it's like little stuff like that. I know what to do. I know how to do that. It's just a matter of like, do I want to do that? And is it going to be beneficial to me? Like, how am I making a difference in people's lives? So I think that way. I have a lot of like art supplies at the barbershop. I can do wood burning. I can do painting. I can do sculptures. I can do all that stuff, which is great. But lately, my mindset hasn't been on being creative. It's been like more so focused on me healing myself, me getting into a higher vibration, me reaching a higher point of value, not only in myself, but the people around me, who I value, my time, my energy, my ideas, like of my ideals of what I believe I'm on this earth for. So it's a lot. And I know, we're already 16 minutes into this video, but if y'all are like following me with this, man, I really want y'all to understand that the main thing that I want y'all to realize today is that your choices are very, very important. You're important, and this is something that I believe in. It's like you're somebody to somebody. Even the worst person is somebody to somebody, which I mean, it's like that's somebody's son, that's somebody's dad, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's best friend, that's somebody. And that's why we have to value people's life. And I know that there's bad people out there, man. There's murderers, there's rapists, there's all types of people. And it sucks, but I have to go in to live in my life knowing that they're people too. They may be broken. Somebody might have done something to them growing up, and they sought out this kind of action to fulfill something because they were broken, or because they just got introduced, whether it's drugs or whether it's whatever it is, anything that stimulates the mind that is hurting other people. It's like all they're doing is trying to take it out of them, and by them seeing someone else suffer, it makes them feel better. It's like misery loves company. But there's a psychological part of it where it's like, damn, man, like how does a person do that to another person? But you don't know how that person was raised. Some people are not raised in love. Some people are raised in fear. Some people are raised in survival. Some people are raised in like telling them they're never going to be nothing, that you're just a loser, and they believe it. And so they act it out. And it's just like, it's sad. So my thing is this: you woke up today. Waking up is worth more than $1 million. Yes, we do need money to live, but you have to hold yourself accountable. You have to set goals and tell yourself, like, if you're a barber and you want to make a specific amount of money, if you say, like, you know what, I want to make $1,500 a week. Okay, well, divide that by how many days you work. And then when you get into those days, how many hours are you working? And then how many hours you're working, how much are you charging? And how much are you charging? You got to always keep track of, okay, my booth rent. And it's like, when you break it down and you're working at a barbershop and you're like, okay, man, to cover my booth rent is $30 a day. So I got to make sure that I do at least one haircut, and then that goes to my booth rent. Then the next 5 haircuts are going to go into my savings. And then the next 5 haircuts are going into my whatever. When you start setting up goals that way and you do it consistently for weeks, you're going to get results. Why? Because you can see it right in front of you. You can see what days you're making the most money. Then you can see what days is the slowest. So then you can tell yourself, like, you know what, man, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are usually my slowest day. So let me make a special for the month of February, because we only have like 29 days, I think, right? I don't know, because it's I know leap years mess me up. But anyway, let's just say we have 29 days in February. So you're like, you know what, this is a good month for me to have my special. All right, we're going to have, say you charge $30 a haircut. Hey, man, you know what, for the month of February, when you bring in 2 people, your haircuts go down to 25, or father-son combo, or, $5 off, or, get a free shampoo on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, because those are your slower days. and you make a flyer, you download Canva, you put up a picture of you cutting hair or a picture of your chair, your clippers, whatever. Then you make that special for the month of February. Every day you could download an app that you can set up a schedule, and it will post that thing religiously for you, right? And trust me, man, you got to know when the most popular times are on YouTube, when the most popular times are on TikTok, when the most popular times are on Facebook, the most popular time on Instagram. And you got to post that flyer on everything. Trust me, if you get 5 people for that month with that flyer, it'll be worth it. Because if you're charging $30 a haircut, or you whatever, they just say you get 5 appointments off of that thing, and you do the special, and you say you're charging $50 for 2 people instead of $60, that's $10 off. So then you're getting 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. How much is that? That's $250. So that's a $250 that you got off of making one flyer, and all you got to do is post it. How many seconds did it take you to post that thing in order to draw those kind of people in? So you start doing the math, and you're like, oh, damn, it only took me, 10 minutes of my time in total to draw in $250. So if you can do that, then it's like, okay, man, well, let me do it again and do it again and do it again. And that's what it is, man. It's like you have to think that way when you're an entrepreneur, man, because no one's going to come save you. It's not the shop owner's job to put all these people in your chair. Now, granted, they can draw some people in, but the majority of the time, either they have a website, they already put in the work. They have a website, or they have a Facebook account and they're responding. So that's their job. That's one thing. Because you think about an owner, right? Like myself, not only do I have to pay the bills, when I have losses, I have to cover the difference. I have to remember to clean the shop, to make sure that we have enough paper towels, make sure we have enough laundry detergent, make sure we have enough toilet paper, make sure that the light bill's paid, make sure that the alarm's paid, make sure that the Wi-Fi and all that's paid, make sure that all the chairs are working, make sure all the lights are working, make sure that we have a flag, or we have this, or we have that for outside. And then you're telling me that you want me to fill up every barber's chair in the shop. I was like, all right, well, I have 10 barbers that work in my shop. So you're telling me it's my responsibility to fill up their schedules too. And then I'm like, okay, well then when you're doing that, you feel because you're paying booth rent that's included. Booth rent, all it includes is that the facility is clean, that the chair works, that the light works, and that your station is sturdy and stable. You're renting the chair, you're renting the floor mat, you're renting the table, you're renting the mirror, you're renting the light. That's you telling the owner, like, I just need your barbecue pit to grill. And I'm gonna, whether you're grilling hamburgers or whether you're grilling steaks, those steaks are gonna sell for $20. The hamburgers are gonna sell for 10. That's up to you. If you can sell 50 steaks, it doesn't devalue the barbecue pit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with the barbershop. It doesn't devalue the barbershop because you're charging a specific amount and you're not able to sell your haircuts. But then it's like, no, I want you to, bring in people. Okay, let's do commission. We can do commission, and I'll be like, all right, well, we'll do 50-50. So what I'll do is I'll stop cutting hair. I'll tell my customers on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I'm not cutting hair. I'll block my schedule, and I'll only cut hair Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So my job, instead of me cutting hair physically, I'll be marketing, bam, 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 making flyers, doing all this stuff to bring in people. And then when people come in and you give them a jacked up haircut because you're not in the mood to cut hair, and they never come back, then the work that I did, I got to get compensated for. And then you're telling me that you didn't do a great job, you didn't give them great service. So it's like a rotating wheel that's never going to stop. It's never going to get to a point where you're like, okay, I got to do better, or I'm doing my best. Because that mentality is like, oh, well, I don't care because I'm still going to get only half of what this haircut's worth. I'm going to give my 100%, but I'm only getting 50%. And it's like, that's why people don't like doing commission, because they see it as, damn, man, I'm giving half of my money away. Well, I'm like, well, yeah, you're doing half of the job. Like, being a professional and cutting hair is one part of it. But being reliable, putting in time, like, that's what being an entrepreneur is. I don't wake up and like, oh man, all the bills are paid. I just got to wake up and I collect money from all these barbers and my life is great. Like, no, bro, I still have to maintain. I still have to be the busiest barber in my barbershop in order for me to sustain the business, because the overhead is so high, and I'm paying $6,000 a month on rent and supply, whatever, and people don't. And then you break that down. Look, this is how much money I need to make weekly to cover these bills. This is how much I gotta have. This is how much I gotta do, and it doesn't end. It's overwhelming sometimes. But the barbers don't understand that, because they're young, unexperienced, and when you tell them what they need to do, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way." And I'm like, "Okay, you can do it your way, but don't blame me. Don't blame the barbershop. Rent is still due." At my barbershop, I already know, and when we did our business plan, this is our 5th year, our rent should be at $250 a week. That's what it should be at. We got, $5,000 coking chairs that we cut hair in. We got large stations. They're 6 feet wide. I got huge mirrors. I got plenty of lighting, dual AC, dual heater. We got a washer, dryer, refrigerator, microwave, 3 restrooms. I mean, we got a large waiting area. You name it, we got it. We free drinks, free waters, free everything. All the electricity's new. We gutted that place out, rebuilt it, new floor, new sheetrock, new paint, all that. I invested over $100,000 into building what I have. The barbers don't see that. They don't know the business plan. They don't know the losses I've taken. And when COVID came, I lost, at one time I had about 14, 15 barbers. Money was good. And then COVID hit and I lost a lot of money. A lot of people left. A lot of people started being selfish. They wouldn't work. Then when it was time for rent, they would come with, "Oh, Joe, man, this and my car and my girlfriend and my kids." And I'm like, "Bro, that has nothing to do with me. Like, I got to get paid." And then it's like, "Oh, well, I guess I won't be able to work here anymore." I'm like, "Okay, but you still owe rent for last week." "Well, let me get you next week, bro, because I got to, blah, blah, blah." And then it's like, then it becomes personal. Instead of just being business and being a professional, then it becomes personal. And then all this stuff happens. So I'm telling you guys firsthand, man, if you want to be a barbershop owner, learn how to treat the shop that you're at right now like it's yours. Because then you're going to see, you're going to learn, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to know there's days that come and you're like, "Man, I just cleaned that restroom yesterday. I just cleaned that, break area yesterday." And you're going to see why it's important for everybody to kind of have a standard of what's expected. And then some people that, "Oh, well, I got kids and he don't have kids, he should do more." No, man, we all have the same amount of weight. I raised 5 boys already. So sometimes they try to spit at me and be like, "Oh, well, my kid." I'm like, "Look, man, I'm the wrong one to tell." I raised 5 boys, not by myself, but I already went through that. And I know there's sacrifices that need to be made. And sometimes sleep is the sacrifice. Sometimes money is the sacrifice. Sometimes it's other things that may not be easy to let go of. And it's like, yeah, man, by you being available and you being on time and you holding yourself accountable, that makes things easier for everybody around you, man. When you don't bring your best, it hurts people. It hurts a lot of people. And it's like, I've been seeing that too much, where people want to put that on somebody else and it's somebody else's fault. But all this stems from, where we started, with the conversation of, something could happen, man. And one situation, all it takes is 15 seconds, man. And you can ruin your life, or you can make your life better because you make that choice. And it's all about choices, man. So hopefully this video helps somebody, man. I don't want to go on because I got to get ready and I got to go drop off this car and then head to the barbershop. But I really appreciate anyone that watches these videos, anyone that leaves comments, anyone that really understands that I'm not here to build up. Man, I don't have my suit on. I don't have all this fancy stuff. I don't care about that stuff, man. Do I have stuff like that? Yes. Do I care about it? No. Why? Because I'm not trying to put this facade of my life is just awesome. And man, I'm just this. Let me put on my sunglasses and talk to you all the time. No shade at nobody else, but that's not me. I don't need to be doing all that stuff until I know that that's what I do daily. And if that's why I am daily, then that's why I am daily. But right now, I'm still building up. I'm still getting to where I want to be. I'm still on the journey. I'm still grinding. Sometimes, you got your hair messed up. You had to wake up early. I woke up at 5:30 today. I had to do all this stuff with my kids. I was supposed to get on my treadmill. I didn't do that. I made myself breakfast. I was reading and whatever, studying. And, I try to feed myself and understand what I need to accomplish today and what I need to work on myself. And, that's what I try to do. And sometimes I get good results. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, people engage, and sometimes people don't, man. So it's all good on my end because I know what I'm putting out. I'm being authentic. I'm being genuine. I'm being myself. And that's the biggest part, is that regardless of what you lose in life, and as long as you're true to yourself, man, that's all that matters. Just do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and be true to yourself. If you find yourself, and what I mean by that, it's not like, oh man, well, you're lost. How do you find yourself? It's like, what I mean is, when you ask yourself that question, why are you here? Why did God create you? Why are you alive? You're not alive just to live this crazy life, and just exist. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, man, answer that question, and then you can find who you are and why you were created. So, all right, y'all stay blessed and y'all stay faded.